wondered why you or a teacher friend can teach a class of 30, but teaching your own children brings up 10 times more frustration? Well, this one aspect is going to change your entire perspective around teaching your own kids. Whether you are a teacher turned homeschooler or are a homeschooling mom with no previous teaching experience, there is an obvious lack of education and support around teaching our own kids. I mean, we're talking about 1 to 6 children here. Why is this so much harder than teaching a class of 30 random kids? We need some more support here for how to teach our children at home, how to connect with them without getting overwhelmed and burnt out as a mom. Overwhelm could look like anxiety over their progress or lack of progress. It could be getting upset at their resistance or lack of responsiveness. Maybe fear of running out of time or not doing enough fast enough or not getting the things done before the end of the year shows up. This is a huge problem. And this is why I want to share with you my 10 years of certified teaching experience and how I've taken all of those best teaching strategies and adapted them to work in the homeschool setting. If you're new around here, my name is Natalie Burns. I show homeschooling moms how to simplify education so that you can be free from overwhelm and teach with easygoing confidence. Here is why teaching in the classroom is way different than teaching homeschool. It comes down to the fact that your children are a mirror of you. I have a background in human biology and genetics, and it is no secret out there that we pass on our genes to our children. I mean, this is why we're surprised when 2 brown-eyed parents give birth to a blue-eyed child. What many don't realize is that we actually also pass down our perspectives about learning. Our stressors and our fears actually move through generations. So if you are afraid of being successful or you were told as a child that you're dumb, you are actually going to see these things come up in your children. Now, a regular school teacher can see these things come up in a child through the challenges of learning experiences, and they can go over, support, and encourage that child without being affected by those things themselves. But when we see these things coming up in our own children, this can actually be a huge trigger. Now we are pulled back into those old feelings from the past, reliving them again like they are right here in the present. We may still not have the tools to process these things ourselves, let alone support our children to emotionally regulate and process it for themselves. Okay. Huge problem. So what can we do? Let me share with you what I have found to be a super simple solution in my own life. My top recommendation is to take 10 minutes for yourself at the start of every day. It really is that simple. Use these 10 minutes to spend time meditating on truth, your personal identity, and your purpose. I'm talking about your personal purpose for life, like for living, your purpose as a mom or a wife, your purpose for your homeschool. Know who you are. Then identify what these triggers are that have been coming up and start to unpack those. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know at that time. Forgive those that were giving you harmful messages that you didn't even know that you could reject. Maybe somebody's words caused you to believe that you're not worthy, you're insignificant, or you're not enough. Would you rather keep believing those lies or start to live in truth? It is really important to recognize what these messages are that we are maybe even subconsciously telling ourselves, because they will come across in the way that we teach our children. And our children are going to adopt these messages. We can break these cycles if we are brave enough to face them and the pain of dealing with them. Okay, so that doesn't sound super fun. What happens if we don't face them and deal with the pain? Well, when we don't face these underlying issues, then when we are homeschooling, we are going to be randomly triggered and upset when our children don't even know that they are causing these things to come up. They are pressing our buttons completely by accident. But when we do face them, then we realize that this isn't about blame and shame anymore. That was then and doesn't need to be carried into now. We will no longer be offended by our children pushing the boundaries. We can actually walk with them through the exploration of life rather than blocking them off from going places that we don't want to go. This here is a sanctification process. It is a learning and growing process. And this really is the hardest part of teaching our kids. So make sure that you have plenty of time to lean into what fills you, what recharges you, what energizes you, so that you can give your best aspects to your time with your children. They pick up a lot from us, including those positive changes that we make in ourselves. One more time here. When we address and heal what we recognize as stressors in our own lives, then our children will naturally pick up on that and they will start to let go of those stressors as well. I hope that this has been encouraging to you as you approach teaching your own children. Remember, you do not need to be all things to all people. You just need to be authentically you. Know who you are. Know what your strengths are and your limitations. Honesty with modesty models for our children how to authentically live. Well, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Subscribe so that we can get together again next week, and I will see you then.